Hello friend, and welcome to day 22 of 30 days of yoga. Can you believe that we've made it this far? This is the start of week 4. This is my favorite part of this 30-day journey, my favorite part of a yoga class. You may have noticed that we're taking this whole month to sort of trace the arc of a yoga class over 30 days, but also sort of within each week and within each practice. Practice within a practice within a practice. And so week 1, we tried to develop this muscle of curiosity and awareness of how we're arriving on our mat today. Does God feel near or far? Do we feel distant or close? What are we bringing with us? And then the second week that we practiced, we became attuned to those things that we bring to the mat, those things that might be heavy or ill-fitting that we're not meant to carry. And we practiced this idea of surrender, of laying them down at the feet of Jesus. And then after releasing those heavy burdens, we have some more space for the goodness of God, for the fruit of the Spirit. So last week, that's what we leaned into, right? The fullness of God's love, joy, and peace, the abundant life that's available to us. And so I hope that as we step into week 4, you're feeling that sense of abundance, and that naturally your heart is being drawn to this place of worship and adoration at the goodness and the presence of God. That's what we're going to lean into this week. So this week is going to be include a lot more sort of back-bending shapes, some deep stretching, some of those shapes that help us really embody this posture of just total worship and awe at the goodness of God. For today's practice, you might want to grab a blanket or towel to sit on. We'll start in a seated position, any seated position that's comfortable for you. So let's jump in and do some yoga. As we step onto our mats for this 4th and final-ish week of our 30-day journey, take a moment, as always, to become aware of the sensation of your breath in your body. Let it be a reminder that the Lord is here in our midst, that each breath is a gift from heaven, a chance to start again. Can you notice briefly how you're arriving today? How you feel stepping into this 22nd day? Notice what feels heavy, ill-fitting. And then choose to just lay it down at the feet of Jesus, even just for the next 15 to 20 minutes. What is it you desire of the Lord today as we begin? Lord, as we begin this practice and this week together, the deep desire of our heart is to taste and see that you are good. That we would know your goodness not just in our heads, but with every sense that you have given us. Help us to draw near in worship and adoration, to marinate in awe and wonder at your goodness this week. Amen. 3 times. Let's breathe in and reach our arms over our head, and breathe out, draw them together in prayer at our hearts. 2 more times like this on your own. And then stay lingering in this stillness. Take 1 more super slow, deep breath. And then open your eyes. Just roll your shoulders really slowly, forward, up, back, and down. And again in that same direction. And then change the direction of your shoulder rolls. So go back, up, forward, and down. And instead of a square, can you make that movement a circle? Noticing in this part of your body how it feels, what you're carrying, how it might be redeemed for worship. Okay, then relax your shoulders down now and take 1 really slow roll of your neck in one direction. So drop your chin in and then take your head over to one side. Drop your head back behind you, open your throat. Take your head over to the other side and then draw your chin slowly back into your chest and slowly go around in the other direction. In the midst of our circumstances, of sensation, of whatever we bring to our mat today, the Lord is good. Head comes upright. And make your way now onto your hands and knees. We're going to do those same movements again, but add a little bit of a boundary in this table shape. So with your hands flat on the floor underneath you, can you take your shoulder blades back, up to your ears, forward, and then down? And just notice the difference when we change the shape a bit. One more round, just like this. Good, and then switch the direction of your shoulders. Forward now, up to your ears, down your back, and then spread them wide. One more time, roll your shoulders forward. Squeeze them up to your ears. Take them down your back, and then pull them apart. Good. Now one round of super slow neck rolls. Again, this is going to feel different because your spine's in a new position. So slowly drop your chin in. Take your head over to one side. Resist gravity as you lift your chin, open your throat, and slowly take your head over to the other side. Now, at any moment, if you notice pinching or pain, back away. Good. Take your head slowly the other direction. Moving slowly and with so much grace and wonder at what your body is able to do. Good. After you're finished with your second circle, lower your forearms down to the mat. Spread your fingers wide, plant your palms, and then tuck your toes and come up into downward facing dog, but with your forearms down like this. This is called dolphin, and it's quite a lot of work. Stay here with your forearms on the mat, but roll forward into a plank. And then soft knees, lift your hips up and back, downward dog, sort of. One more time, roll forward into your forearm plank. And then as you exhale, forearms stay on the mat, come back to dolphin, and then drop your knees, child's pose. Keep your knees right in line with your hips because we're going to slowly roll all the way up to stand so that we're standing on our shins or on our knees. Good. Bring one hand to the front of your belly, one hand to the back of your pelvis. Just find neutral. Feel the engagement of your inner thighs, your pelvic floor, and your low belly. And then bring your arms out at 90 degrees so they look like two goalposts or a cactus. And we'll find a cow shape in just our upper spine. So lift up the middle of your back, press your elbows back. And then as you exhale, bring your forearms together in front of you and widen your shoulder blades around your upper backs for this cat shape. Twice more like this. Inhale, elbows wide, chest and chin lift. And then exhale, press your forearms together around your upper back. Again, inhale to open. And exhale to press together and round. Beautiful. Come back to the center now, elbows wide. Take your left arm now and turn your hand down so that it faces the back of your mat. And then slide the back of your hand up the middle of your back as far as it will go. Maybe it finds the space between your shoulder blades. And then just hang your right arm down at your side. And tip your right ear over towards your right shoulder. And maybe you feel a nice stretch in the side of your neck here. Stay with that sensation. If it starts to feel pinching or painful, then back off, right? It doesn't have to be forced. Remember that balance we talked about a couple days ago of effort and ease. Can you find that in this stretch? Okay, keep your arm where it is, but slowly bring your head back to the center. Lift your right arm up towards the ceiling and then flip your hand around so that it faces the space behind you. And then bend your elbow. And maybe your fingertips touch, or maybe they just grab onto your shirt, or maybe they just press onto your back. See if you can lift your right elbow a little bit higher, and then notice what your ribs and your low back are doing. See if you can make more space there. Stay for one more breath. Good. And then release both arms. Whew. Give them a shake. Roll your shoulders. Nice. Now lower your forearms back down to the mat and come back to your dolphin shape. We're just going to do this one more time. Inhale, roll forward to your forearm plank. Lengthen your low back. Feel the front of your belly zip up. And then lift your hips up and back, downward dog. Once more, inhale forward for plank. Exhale back to dolphin. Drop your knees, soften your shoulders. And then slowly roll all the way back up to stand on your shins. So nice. Okay, take your elbows back out into that cactus shape. Take your right hand and point it down, and then slide the back of your right hand up the middle of your back. Let your left arm just kind of hang heavy. And maybe notice the difference between right and left. In my body, they feel very different. Notice that with love and compassion, and then slowly drop your ear over towards your shoulder until you feel that nice stretch. Can you breathe into the sensation? Can you soften into the stretch? And can you draw near to the goodness of God? All right, slowly bring your head back upright. Keep your hand right where it is. Stretch your left arm up now. Spin it around so that your hand faces the space behind you. Bend your elbow, and then maybe your fingertips touch or you grab your shirt, but find this stretch through your arms. Lift up your left elbow. Press your right elbow back, and then lengthen through your low back. Widen the space between your armpits. Press the back of your head towards your left hand. So nice. One more breath in. And then exhale, release. Again, shake it out, roll it out. Beautiful. All right, hands on the mat now. Regular old downward facing dog. Good. Walk your feet to the top of your mat. Hang in a forward fold. And grab your elbows here and really let the weight of your forearms help your shoulders relax and your head and neck be soft. Soft through your knees. Good. And then release your elbows and switch the grip. So other hand comes on top. And again, hang here for a couple more breaths. Good. Release your elbows now and super slowly roll yourself all the way up to stand. Stretching your arms over your head, and then as you exhale, draw them together at your heart. Step your left foot back now for warrior one. Wide towards the edge of your mat so that your hips can really square to the front. One time, just straighten your right knee. Pivot your hips so they face forward. Bend back into your right knee, and then find the outer edge of your back foot and press that down. All right. Right arm is going to lift up. Left hand is going to wrap up the middle of your back. And then bend your right elbow, bring your fingertips to touch. See if you can get longer and more grounded in your lower body and lifted and expansive across your chest. Good. Okay, keep your left hand where it is. Lift your right hand up so that it's straight. Lift your back heel off the floor. And we're going to come into a warrior three with your right arm stretching forward and your left hand where it is. It's a little funky. See if you can really flex through your left foot. Good. And then step your left foot next to your right. Stand up. Reach your arms over your head. Big breath in. And then as you exhale, lower your right hand down to the side of your body and tip up and over so that the left side of your body gets a nice stretch. Good. Come back up to the center now. Both arms reach up. Big breath in. Exhale, hands together at your heart. This time, step your right foot back for warrior one. Take the time to really ground your feet well. Straighten your front knee, square your hips, establish your feet, and then bend back into your front knee. Gomukhasana is the Sanskrit name for this arm variation. So same arm variation we just did, but this time your left arm will reach up to the ceiling and your right arm will swim up the middle of your back, and maybe your fingers will touch. And notice if there's a part of you that wants to kind of crawl out of this shape. Offer that to the Lord. Receive the joy of your salvation Taste and see the goodness of God. And can this shape that maybe you want to crawl out of be a shape that leads you into worship? Keep your right hand where it is, but stretch your left arm back up overhead. Lift your right heel off the floor, and then come into a warrior 3 with your left arm extended. Right heel reaches back. Left leg is straight and strong. One more breath in. And then exhale, both feet meet together. Lift your right arm up to meet your left. Drop your left hand down your side and take a little bend over to the left. Really, really nice. Good. Come back up to the center. Both arms lift up. And then exhale, hands to your heart. Fold yourself in half and hang once again in a forward fold. Now, as I was planning this series, I realized there was one kind of genre of shapes that we haven't explored yet, mostly because these are such short videos and we need a lot of good time to really safely work into them. But I want to just give us a minute to play with an arm balance called crow. So plant your hands on the mat and then sit your hips down like you were squatting, but keep your heels lifted. And I'm just going to walk you through it. We're just going to play with it for a minute. And my encouragement to you is for this to be worshipful and playful. And if you're able to balance on your hands, awesome. And if you're not, awesome. But how can this shape lead you into greater joy, into greater connection with the goodness of God? So bend your elbows, and your upper arms are going to be like little shelves for your knees. Bend your elbows, and then see if you can squeeze an elbow into the back of one of your forearms, and you'll have to lean your weight forwards. Now look out in front of you as you lean, because if you look down, you're going to go down. And this shape brings up a lot of things, right? Like, oh my gosh, what if I fall? What if you fall, right? Hands plant. Knees might tuck into the back of your upper arms. Hips might lift. Maybe you keep your toes on the floor and you just play with rocking forward and back like this. Maybe you play with lifting one foot off than the other. Maybe you play with both feet lifting off. I've got lots more videos here on this channel and in the Yoga Abbey where we play much longer with crow, but take the next 20, 30 more seconds to explore it. To taste and see that the Lord is good. That your body can do fun, playful things that can surprise you. And then when you're ready to be done, come to child's pose. In child's pose, bring your arms alongside of you or right under your belly so that your shoulders can really just fall to the sides and soften. We've done a lot of upper body work today, so let's give them a rest. Brennan Manning, in his book, The Ragamuffin Gospel, writes that our world is saturated with grace, and the lurking presence of God is revealed not only in spirit, but in matter. God intended for us to discover his loving presence in the world around us. From child's pose, sit up onto your knees in Virasana or on your heels or just seated on your mat. We'll close our practice together by placing one hand over your forehead and your other hand over your heart, closing your eyes. Lord, may our thoughts be saturated with grace and your presence. May the longings of our heart, the waves of emotion be saturated with grace and your constant presence. Bring your right hand down to your belly now. May our desires and our will, may the works of our body today be saturated with grace and the lurking presence of your spirit. And bring your left hand to meet your right. Take a big full breath in. Let your arms hang at your side, palms open. We thank you for this practice, Lord, for our bodies and our breath and the way that they connect us to you. Help us this week to discover in a new way how our body and our breath can draw us nearer to you in worship. In Jesus' name, amen. I am so grateful for our time together on the mat today. It's such an honor to hold this space with you and draw near to the Lord alongside of you in our bodies and in our breath. You've heard me talk about this before and invite you into it before, but I want to just extend the invitation again today to come and join me in the Yoga Abbey, our online yoga sanctuary where we dive deep into more yoga, more meditation, deeper community, spiritual direction, all these spiritual disciplines to help us really embody our faith. We're there to help you go deeper and to walk alongside you in this journey. So if you've enjoyed this practice and want more, come and practice with me and many other beautiful, brilliant instructors in the Yoga Abbey. We have a few more days together, so I will see you back here on your mat again soon.